Hello, 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 everybody. This is DJ Iguana here with Glitter for the Brains. We are having some special guests today over here. We have Keenan from Limbo in the house and
Hello.
his manager Mo and Sam, which is part of the entourage here. So he's here on the side just like recording everything. So before we start talking and have the interview, we're just gonna like play a song and then we're gonna start talking. So this is Noel by Keenan from Limbo. It dropped February 1st. So stream it on Spotify, Apple Music, and every single other platform. But this is Noel. Enjoy.
I don't think that I can go. What's there for me? And you have me too high up. You make my nose bleed. Are you here? It's hard to tell. Then again, I know you well. I won't let you go and let you do it again. I won't let you go and let you do it again. I ain't dreaming automobile. Sorry, I ain't know my name. Just the blood got spilled. Saw you at the shop, burn pipes in your throat. Did you ever think about how to make me feel? I heard you make the boys go crazy when you tell me you're number one, baby. I'm on your side 'cause you made me. I'm on your side, you can make me. All you hear is hard to tell. And again, I know you well. Every time you leave a trail, I heard you make the boys go crazy. Raging on a mobile, sorry, I ain't know what this is, but I got spilled. Raging on a mobile, sorry, I ain't know what this is, but I got spilled. Raging on a mobile, sorry, I ain't know what this is, but I got spilled. Raging on a mobile, sorry, I ain't know what this is, but I got spilled.
Okay, so I'm gonna start out by saying I really, really love this song. I
Thank you.
actually have been listening to it every single day since you dropped it on
Oh my
Spotify.
God, I'm blushing.
So I really like it. Shout out to Keenan.
I appreciate
And
that.
yeah, just like first of all, before we start talking, just like both of you introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit more about like who you are.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. Well, my name's Keenan. I go by Keenan from Limbo. Uh, I don't know how do I describe myself. I mean, I'm a musician. I make music. I'm a producer. I'm also like I guess a curator. I like throw raves in Philly. If you ever been to any of those. And I don't know. I'm just overall like a creative, I guess. I don't really know how to like describe myself. It's just like I'm just me, like yeah. So I got Mo right here with me, my manager.
Hi, my name is Mo Witcher. I'm Keenan's acting manager as of right now. I helped basically executive produce this album, helped put everything together, mastered every track on it, and it's honestly been one of the most fulfilling projects I've worked on so far. And yeah, I'm really excited for you guys to hear everything else we have in store.
So can you tell us a little bit like how this album came together? Like what was the process? Or basically like when did you actually start thinking about making this album?
All right, so like I wish I could be like, oh my god, like I had like we just started putting this together. We like worked so hard, blah blah blah. But we did work hard on it. But it's just like to be honest, completely honest, like this project came together because I didn't even think about I didn't think about putting this together at all. Pretty much Mo randomly was like, yo, you gotta put something out. And Mo's been rocking my music for like a long time, ever since we started doing raves together, and like I don't know, like pretty much, Mo was like, yo, I need you to put music out. So he was like, send me all the music you got right now. Every finished track that you got, send it to me. So like I did that. Like I sent all of my music and he pretty much like was like, I like this song, this song, this song, and this song. And I was like, yo, I'm ready to do it. And at first I was like uncomfortable about the idea of putting music out because I'm really like kind of shy and stuff when it comes to like my art. But I don't know. I know I like for some reason I was like to have someone like Mo be like super excited about my music. It like made me like feel like yo I need to like do this for like my friends that believe in me. And that's how it came to be. Like, it wasn't like anything. It wasn't like thought out like for like weeks or anything like that. It was just that Mo was like, bro, you gotta put something out. So as soon as he said that, I was like, I'm down. So I just started taking it serious, and I like put all my songs together, and then we came out with this like project. It was like super like, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely, when it comes to music, I'm definitely more of the philosophy that like you should make 100 songs and pick the best 5 rather than, you know, just make 5 songs and work super hard on them. And I didn't know Keenan made music for the longest time. Like, we had known each other for a while, and randomly one day I decided to click on the link tree in his Instagram bio, and I kind of yelled at him the next time I saw him, because most people that kind of push their music and put it in your face, not to say that, you know, it's not of any substance, but like I could clearly see that he didn't know how talented he was in and of himself. So I kind of decided to put a fire underneath him and motivate him to, you know, put together something cohesive. And because he had been making music for years already, he had an arsenal of, you know, unfinished projects and ideas. So it wasn't really too hard to pick up from there and put something very cohesive together from what he had already made.
Yeah, I can confirm. I've heard Mo multiple times just like hype up your music, and he's like your biggest fan. But yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm very curious. Like, I've heard that you've performed before in Philly, and I'm just wondering, like, how come you chose to perform music to people like that was unreleased, but you never actually wanted to put it out? So what was the meaning behind it? Like, you just wanted to perform for the community, or you just like, it was kind of like a preparation for the stuff you're going to release in the future?
All right, so how I started performing, Mo, again, you know, Mo was like, yo, you gotta do a show, you got music. But I think the reason I like chose to perform and not put music out yet is because like I didn't know how it was gonna be perceived, pretty much, you know, like I don't know if like all right, so comedians do this thing, right, where they like comedians that do like big like giant like what do you call it, like stadiums and stuff like that. Those same comedians, I heard, they go to like little small like bars or something where there's only like 20 people in the crowd to like test their material. So I thought of it like that. I'm like, I want to make sure I like all the music that I've done at shows was all like pretty much different songs that I haven't put out yet. And I just wanted to see how people reacted. I was like, I'm gonna play this song in this show, play this song in this show, and see like what songs make people the hypest, like what songs do they like. But start like, so pretty much that's how it was. And like I would send Mo like my like lineup of songs I wanted to do, and pretty much all the songs on a project now are some of the songs I feel like people like perceive the best, you know. And I don't know, like I feel like performing is different than like putting out music, if that makes sense. Like putting out music, I think what makes me uncomfortable about putting out music, because it's like I was talking to Sam earlier, the other Sam, this is our homie Sam, is that like the weird thing about putting out music is like you never know how people are gonna like perceive it. Like you want people to think a certain thing when you put music out, but you never know what people are gonna be thinking. But when you get to perform live, you get to like look at people in the face and be like, all right, you like get what I'm saying, right? Oh, you don't get what I'm saying.
You get the immediate
reaction. You know what I mean? Like, there's some songs I didn't think was a hype song, and people were like, oh. I don't know. I just like to experiment. Like, pretty much it's just, like, experimenting, and performing is just, like, experimenting.
You get the immediate feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say I've seen Keenan perform in a basement in North Philly, and it was definitely very entertaining, and I really, like, I don't know, did you feel like right now you're, like, more ready to perform the music that you have out, or is it a different feeling for you when you think about it?
It's pretty much the same. Like, I'm still nervous to perform my stuff, but I feel like this time, like, I have a show coming up on the 18th.
Is it the 215 like fashion?
Fashion Mag show. Yeah, that's gonna be the show I'm performing on the 18th, and like, I'm a little bit more nervous now about performing, only because it's like, before it was just like I went into it blindly. Now I'm just like, all right, these songs are coming out. I really hope people like these, like this music, because like some of these songs people haven't heard yet, you know.
Yeah,
There's a few, like Noel, the song you just played. That was a song I made just for a promo video for a rave we did back in the early summer. And I just made that song because I was like, we need a song for a promo video. And people like liked it a lot. But the rest of the music is like fresh songs that no one has ever heard. So I think I was contradicting myself. That a lot of people haven't heard. Yeah.
Do you want to add anything?
I was just gonna add that like this isn't by any means the first music Keenan has dropped too. Like there's loads of stuff on his SoundCloud. This is just the first project that we are quote unquote actively marketing and actively promoting, which makes it a lot different when you're just putting a song out to have it out as opposed to putting it out to promote it.
Yeah, it's like we're purposely doing this one. Like I have a habit of putting music out and just taking it off of SoundCloud because I'm like I get like very like shy and like uncomfortable with my art.
Yeah, and I yell at him every time,
Yeah,
and I text him, and I'm like, why can't I hear the song anymore? Why is it not on SoundCloud?
Yeah. It's important.
It's like your music's very good. I love like that's why I invited you. I really like this like new sound, and in terms of that, I wanted to ask you like, because to me, a lot of the stuff that you play reminds me of like Echo 2K, like Dream Gang, Porter Robinson.
My God, okay.
I'm just wondering, like, what do you think, like, in terms of what inspires you to make this type of sound? Because I know, like, just so everybody knows, like, Keenan recorded these on his phone. So, you know, yeah.
All right, so pretty much, like, that's crazy that you said Echo 2K. So Porter Robinson, actually, shout out Pump Fake, shout out Eve. I learned of Porter Robinson recently, and like I would definitely say since I learned about Porter Robinson, he has had an effect on my music. But since like high school, I was listening to like Blade and like Young Lean and like Echo 2K. So I feel like they definitely got like they definitely inspired me to make the music I make now. But like the person who like inspired me the most to like pretty much like lock into this certain sound of like, I would call it like hyper pop, but I'm trying to like press it and do like other stuff too. But it was like Sophie. Like after
Oh yeah, for sure.
After she died, like I don't know, in my head I was like, yo, I gotta keep going with this sound. Like a lot of people didn't even know who she was. A lot of people didn't know anybody off of like PC music or anything like that. There's a lot of people on that label. But after she died, I was like, yo, I want to like lock in and make hyperpop. I want to make like crazy sounding music that's not perfectly like in tune, perfectly like engineered. I want to make like music that's like out there because she was out there. She didn't like a lot of her music. It was like you have to be into it to like, if that makes sense. And after that, I was like, it gave me the confidence to just put music out, you know. And Mo, you know, like Mo is like super important to like helping me put music out. So. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like with this sound, with what you said about Sophie, like she produced for so many super big artists like
Rihanna.
Vince Staples and Rihanna, that sound is so engraved.
You hear something crazy? Not to cut you off.
No worries.
I heard. It could be a rumor, but I don't know. I heard on the internet and from a friend that Sophie produced a song for Young Thug. I don't know if it's true or not.
To be fair, I've seen that on like hip hop, like on Reddit hip hop. So I don't know. It might be true.
If that's true, then I'm a melt. Like that was so crazy. If that's true.
But I saw that picture of like Rihanna and Sophie a few days ago, and everybody was like, "Rihanna's not gonna drop that song ever. We're just gonna have this picture to remember it." But
that's sad.
But yeah,
I hope she does. But just to know that these people are like coming in contact is like inspiring. You know what I mean? Like I seen a picture. You see that picture with Young Lean and like Kanye?
Yeah, from yesterday.
That joke was crazy. That makes me happy because I'm like, yo, like the hipster in me is just like, oh my god, they're about to be mainstream now. But like,
so what are they doing together?
Yeah,
like something has to be going on for them to be.
Does
together.
that mean that Kanye knows Blade? Like I want to know. Does that mean that Kanye knows Blade?
What's his name? I was about to say Young Thug. Future was rocking Blade merch in a music video like years ago. And I thought that was crazy. I'm like, do they like, but I'm also like, do they have time to tune into artists like that? Or do they just like have like publicists or like A&Rs that are just like, yo, you gotta peep this. Like where this is, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or are they like generally listening to like Blade and like stuff like that? I would like to think the latter. Like I hope they are.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you like, because you've been a part of like Keenan's music for a long time. Like,
Yes.
do you think are like what does Keenan's music sound like to you from like an outside perspective?
I would love to hear this.
That's a
What do
loaded
you think,
question.
Mo?
All right, so
Playing, playing.
that's kind of a loaded question. I mean, no two songs are the same. But there's
Snowflakes.
yeah, they're little snowflakes, each and every one of them. But they do the most consistent thing throughout all of his music that I've noticed is it's very sincere. I feel like you can really tell when somebody's trying hard to make a song sound good. And when I first listened to Keenan's music, it was very tasteful in that sense. And I'm drawing a blank here, but
No, what do you think? Like, what do you like? I don't know. I feel like that's a good response. Like, I don't know. Like, I know. Like, it's just like I know Mo loves my music.
yeah, I
like,
can't. I'm just trying to.
It's hard to like.
It's hard to put it into a genre or something like that. There's
To
just
me, it sounds like it sounds like we're in space for
In
real.
space?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the only ways
I like that.
I could figure to describe it are so abstract.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
can't really put it into concrete words. I feel like the music speaks for itself more than anything else. I feel like it's a feeling more than anything you can describe, and you just need to listen to it to understand at the end of the day.
Yeah, I want to like I'm super curious in that too. Like, I feel like I don't know if we're gonna play the next song, but I want to ask y'all. I know it's your interview, but I want to ask y'all like what initial thought did you get? Like, I really want to know that. Like, that's like a burning question in my head. Like, what did you think I mean? Like when you listen to like Noel or like anything, you know? I'm
Yeah,
curious.
we're gonna play the next song, and after that, we can talk about all of this. But
right,
before
right.
that, you're listening to WKDU Philadelphia 91.7 FM, Drexel University's free format non-commercial radio station. This is DJ Iguana, and you're listening to Glitter for the Brains, and we're gonna play. So the next 3 songs that we're gonna play are actually unreleased from Keenan's album that drops February 24th, right?
February 24th.
February 24th
Black
on
History Month. Let's go.
Yes, first song dropped like first day of Black History Month and then like towards the end of Black History Month. But the next song we have playing is called First Rodeo. So enjoy. Right? Shout out Yeet.
Shout out Yeet.
But this is my absolute favorite song from your album. I love it so much. Like
appreciate that.
the intro is like
Yeah.
one of my favorite things ever. I listen to hyperpop like all the time. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite genres. But
That's
this
mine
song is
too.
just like so, how to explain it? Like how you said that you don't do like super polished music. Like this is not
Yeah.
polished in the perfect way
That's,
to me.
I love that. I appreciate that.
Like it sounds very not industrial, but you
Yeah.
know how I don't know. Okay, this is a very bad analogy, but I was just about to say, you know how like Detroit hip hop sounds very
Yeah.
like very
Yo.
unpolished.
Yo,
It's
speaking of Detroit,
Yo.
shout out Detroit. Shout out
Yeah.
all my homies back in West Detroit.
Yeah.
You know.
Mo put me on to Detroit rap, low key. That's crazy.
but now I have like a little bit of you know, more loaded topic to talk about. I feel like KDU is a lot about like community outreach and stuff like that, and we do a lot of stuff about community, and we have a lot of
that.
electronic DJs here, and we've been like in the electronic music scene for a long time. And you both over here, like you throw some of the like biggest raves that people in Philly go to,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's such a big part of Philly culture that it's not like it mainly stays on Instagram and is mostly very niche and for people who like really know about you guys.
Yeah, yeah,
but I really want like both of you to like break down this whole like Philly scene, the raves, the like alt escape or odd domain or anything else.
Yeah, you trying. First of all, when you first said you have a lot of electric DJs here, I was like, automatically, I was like, put me on. I want to know because I'm always trying to find like new people in Philly who spin, just to give them like a shot, you know, to like come to the raves and spin.
That's actually how a big part of the reason we started throwing events too is because we know so many of our friends that are super talented. You know what I mean?
Shout out Vic, who was president of Autoscape. I'm electing her president. I elected her president of Autoscape. And shout out Jules too.
Yeah, shout out
Jules C.
Jules, shout out Jules, shout out Vic Denny. Yeah, that was a big part of the reason we started throwing shows in the first place was because we just have so many talented friends, so many super talented friends.
Facts.
That aren't getting, in our opinion, the opportunities that they deserve. And we just wanted to, you know, put something together for them, to give them an opportunity, you know. And when it's all in-house, it's kind of, it works out really well, you know.
Yeah. And yeah, like most said, we just wanted to see our friends get a shot, and like we're super like anti-establishment, like if that makes, I don't want to like get too radical or political, but we're like pretty much anti-establishment. So like
Same here at KDU, so
KDU.
we're here with you.
So we're like, and hopefully I don't get in trouble for this for saying this, but we're pretty much giving our friends jobs. Like we're picking out people that we know that we love and like they're already our family to like spin at raves, so we were able to like pay them. Like all the money that we get from the raves go to the people that help us out, put it on. You know, like there's a lot of us that put this stuff on. Like now we're part of Odd Domain. Shout out Carla, shout out Rachel, shout out DB, Mars, Bruno, shout out everyone, shout out Aaron, shout out Jared, shout out Claire,
Shout out
shout
Taylor.
out Mo, shout out Taylor for sure, shout out Taylor. Like shout out, I'm not missing anyone.
It's too many people to name.
There's a lot of people. Shout out Patty. You know, shout out a lot of people that have been.
It takes a lot of people to get like any of this done, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Too many people to name.
And we're just like, yo, we want to work like a co-op. We're trying to like, no one of us is like the face of the raves. No one of us is like the like CEO or anything like that. We just like, we're like, yo, we want to give our friends jobs because we all love raves. We all love EDM music. We all love hyperpop. We all love like just music. So we're like, yo, like we're trying to do it from the muscle. We don't need any sponsorships. We don't need any like OGs in the game. We just need us to like do it DIY.
Yeah.
And we've been really successful.
Yeah, and like it just, and I feel like the fact that we initially started this not with exactly the goal of pulling huge crowds or making exorbitant amounts of money, but to just give people opportunities. I think that organic, sincere outlook on it is a big part of the reason it took off as much as it did, and it kind of like it snowballed. It's like to a point where like the two of us or the three of us couldn't couldn't control it anymore, and we needed to start bringing more and more people in to help out through these events. It kind of grew into something that was bigger than any one of us individually, and I'm just excited to see where it goes from there.
Yeah, we got big things on the way.
Can you tell me a little bit about like how it started, like how everything started? You know.
The lore,
Can
the
I
origin
start?
story.
Can
Yeah,
I-
go for it.
All right. So honestly, we have a friend. We all had a friend in common who, we're not gonna name, but we had a friend in common. So pretty much, I came to them and was like, "Yo, like I want to throw raves," and this person was like, "Yo, I have a friend who also is in there throwing parties," and that person was Mo. And then there was another person. They were like, it was Vic. So like, I think it was like one night that I invited Mo to like a party, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like to my friend Sorrel's like house party, and there's people DJing there, and I was like, yo, like, bro, I want to throw raves. And Mo was like, yo, I'm down with it. Like, Mo was like down with it, and he was on board. Like, you were like rocking a lot of people at the time, I remember,
Yeah.
and everybody that you were with was down to help and do what they needed to do. And then I talked to Vic, and me and Vic met outside of like, I think it was like the Barbary, somewhere in Philly, and Joel C was there too, and we were like outside. I was like smoking a cigarette, and we were just geeking. We were like, yo, I want to throw raves, and Vic was on the same type wave. She was like, I was just talking about this to Jules, and we were just like, it was like mad like organic. It was just like homies who were just like, we want to throw raves together, and it's just like, and that's how it happened. Vic came up with the name All Escape, and then it just took off from there, and that led into like us throwing like mad shows, mad events. Me and Mo throwing like some like trap rap shows at like the John
In Chinatown, Apple Tree Street, yeah.
like helling it down, getting people like Tef was on the other day.
Yeah,
Shout out Tef.
shout out Tef, shout out to
Shout out
R1
Tef.
boys.
R1 was pulling up. They were doing their thing at the raves and stuff. And then COVID hit, and then
Yeah.
and you got me to do. You're the reason it sparked back up. I don't know if you even know that, yo. Mo was the reason it sparked back up, because after when COVID hit, we were so like distraught because we like All Escape was like major, you know. It was like taking it off. A lot of people was coming through.
Yeah, it was like
working on
our
Dying
main
was pulling
focus.
up.
Yeah, it was our main
Yeah.
focus at the time. It was a lot of momentum with it.
But you took a trip. Remember, you took a trip. And the reason I feel like it got to the point it is now is because when you took that trip, you were like, yo, I want to throw a rave when we get back.
Yeah.
And I was like, bet, I'm down to help put that John on. While you were away, things connected, you came back. And that was like the rave, I think, to spark off this like new like
This
boom,
new wave,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, it was like I said before. It didn't take long for it to kind of spiral, kind of out of our control.
Yeah. It's
The,
crazy.
the people started demanding
Yeah.
more and more shows, and like I remember, after the COVID lockdowns first happened, I remember like half a year to a year into COVID, the COVID lockdown, people were still asking me like, "Yo, when's the next show? When's the next show?" And I took a trip. I went to London for a little bit, and when I came back, that's when I was talking to Keenan, and I was like, maybe it's time now, because a lot of restrictions were easing back up at the time. This was before Delta, and before the re-lockdown. Yeah, and Omicron. But I was like, I think it might be time now. So we decided to throw something outside, and we found a sick spot outdoors near Fairmount Park, and we threw this outdoor rave called Where the Wild Things Are, and that was coincidentally also the rave that Keenan made Noel for, as a promotional song, and it just picked up from there. Once again, we have a show going on tomorrow, actually.
Yeah.
If you want to find out anything about it, you could go to odd.domain on Instagram, or Keenan from Limbo's Instagram.
Yeah, photo and.
Didn't that rave from Fairmount just end up in the news, like in the newspaper? Actually,
It did.
I'm not gonna lie, that was like a blessing. It was a blessing more. It was a blessing more so than anything. But it kind of that rave. It was amazing. Like over 1,000 people pulled up, and we were not expecting that.
Yeah.
It was so crazy.
Yeah.
I thought overall it was a really good night, but we got a lot of backlash from that. From like a lot of like the OGs in the game and the older people that have been doing raves for a long time, and like I feel like up until that point, I thought everything was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got into, and then when people started like, we had a little bit of bad backlash just about like having the numbers that we did. Like a lot of people think that raves and stuff like that should be really niche and like small numbers and like hush hush. And I feel
Gate
like,
kept.
and we had a lot of people pull up. And during that night, actually, it was crazy. Carla and Rachel had thrown another rave, which we like. That's how we first met with them. But yeah. So that kind of sparked the ongoing debate now that's happening. Like, should raves be large or should they be like more like quiet? You know?
Yeah, to
And
be
chill.
fair, like I personally have gone to a lot of the raves that you guys threw, and I like come from Romania, which I have been to a lot of like super big festivals and very big raves and super like underground events. And I feel like this debate is mostly like what I feel about the music industry in general. Like I feel like the less gatekeeping it is, like the better. So if you
feel the
have
same
like
way.
exactly like if you're I don't like gatekeeping music or gatekeeping events. I feel like that's just like a part of the past, or like people who used to think that they were hipsters back in the day were like, oh, we're going to this event with like 50 people. I feel like today it should be the exact opposite. Like that's why we have music popping off on TikTok, because it's very good and it's like for everybody, and you don't need to keep it like super underground. And with the raves, because I was like making an analogy with that, to me, like the fact that I went to your event and like that masquerade thing had like 2,000 people or something, like that was amazing. The fact that like some 20-year-olds from Philly were able to do that and were able to like pull that through, I feel like that even speaks for how like united the Philly community actually is, and how like we need to keep this gatekeeping stuff away from our mentality.
Yeah.
I love that you said it, because it's like, what are we like actually fighting for? Because it's like, what frustrates me about that topic, people that are on the other side saying that things need to be like smaller and like more niche, which I respect everyone's opinion, but it's just like, what are we actually doing this for? Are we trying to like bring people together? Are we trying to like make noise and show them that we're not just doing this to have a party and like act crazy?
Yeah.
We're doing this to like
Bring people together.
give friends jobs, give people like freedom, you know? But I feel like a lot of people that like in the past, like not saying any names, but I feel like they're like, they present themselves as like progressive. And I'm not saying that they're not progressive, because I feel like a lot of their views are very progressive. But I think that some people need to step back and think like, are my views a little conservative? I know that some people want to keep things like small and niche, but it's just like, is that going to like fix the overall problems that we see in the scene?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know. I feel like you gotta be loud and be like, we're here.
Yeah,
you know?
you touched on the topic of bringing people together, and I think that's one of my personally favorite things about throwing these events is we get told time and time again by like the venue owners, they're like, what is this crowd? Like, because you look over and like there is no demographic.
There's
you know
no
what I mean?
demographic at all.
You get people from all over, all different shapes, sizes, and colors. And it's cool. Like everybody is just cool with each other, and everybody's there to have a good time. There's nobody there with any bad intentions or bad malice. You know what I mean? So that's why I think, you know, moving into the direction of kind of popularizing it a little more, you know, would be overall beneficial to the community, because it like, when are you going to see a mix of people that, like, I mean, anybody that has been to the shows can attest to this, but like I personally have never seen a mix of people at anywhere that has looked like any of the shows that we've thrown. You know what I mean?
Philly, there was a time where I feel like Philly was mad cliquey. Like you would go to like my first introduction to Philly, like scene of any music was like through the punk scene. But like when you go to punk shows, you just see like people that are like punk. You don't see any like quote unquote normies there. Or you go to like trap shows, you just see people that are like in their trap music. But like Mo said, the things we're doing, we're trying to combine all the crowds together. You know, we're trying to like, and it's like, I don't know. I just want to.
It's working.
It's working, and it's like, and I feel bad because I feel like some people don't agree with it. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, this is what it's about. This is what Philly is about. This is how Philly is gonna be that next city that's gonna take off. Is because we're united. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter what you believe in, no matter who you are, no matter what you look like, you know, you can come to our raves, be free, and you're free to experiment and free to like, don't be in a box. Like, you know, like, you might come to our rave thinking one way, leave and be like, yo, I think I do like EDM.
Yeah.
I do like hyper pop. I usually just listen to punk music and stuff like that, but I think I do like this because you feel the energy, you know.
I can definitely say, like, out of like everybody here, I'm the newest to Philly. Like, I moved here in 2019, and I didn't really like up until like joining the radio, I didn't really find myself like in a community. And then I remember just like one of my friends showed me one of your raves, and I went there and I was like, oh my God, this is like another side of Philly. Like, you never see people like this actually in the same place. Because when you see them, I'm like, you can't really go to a bar in Center City and see the same crowd, because that's not going to happen. Like, everybody's just in different corners. And especially because like Philly is such a diverse city from every single aspect ever. So I feel like I'm screaming right now, but
no, you're excited. Like,
but definitely, like, I don't know. I've never, like, coming from Romania, I've never seen anything like this. And I definitely can say that every single time I go with my friends, or like you see familiar faces, it's just something that makes you feel more like in touch with what everybody else is doing. Because, like, you know, maybe you're not very like super close with someone, but you see them at a rave, you're like, yo, I haven't seen you in such a long time. What's up? You know?
And you say it's new to you. To be honest, it's all this is new to us too. Like, this is stuff that I feel like has never happened yet. So it's like, this is a learning process. Everything is like, every show we have is like a social experiment to see, like, is this gonna work? Is this not gonna work? Can we do this? Can we not do this? So it's new to us too. Like, even though I've been in Philly my whole life, it's like, I feel like I'm right there with you. Like, this is new to me too.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, how did Philly look? Like, what did it look like when you were, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago, in terms of parties, or in terms of like where you would go out?
Everybody was rocking snap. No, it was like, you said how it was looking, like, what, party wise back in the day?
Yeah, like where would you go out?
I'm trying to think. What was 10 years ago? Today is 2000.
Like 2012, 2013, 2014.
I say 2012, 2011, 2012, 2013. Philly was like I said, it was like mad clicky. There was people who was coming up around that time. Like Lil Uzi was just coming up. Tierra Whack was coming up.
Meek Mill was like around that time too.
Meek Mill was popping off in Philly for a while, but he just started like getting like mainstream like looks.
Not to cut you off, but like Meek Mill did a freestyle here right after he got out of jail. He came to KDU and did a freestyle. Yeah, we have it. Yeah,
shout out Meek.
Like, I think the microphone that Mo's speaking on, that's the one that Meek Mill used actually in like 2009.
Yo, switch mics with me, bro. You got the sauce. But Philly was like, Philly was regular. I feel like people were like getting in. Everyone who's like, I feel like running shit. Oh, sorry. Running stuff now.
It's fine.
Everyone who's like, I'm so sorry. Everyone who's running stuff now, right now, I feel like was coming into their own in 2012 and 2013. They were like pretty much experimenting. Like, there's a lot of like people going like thrifting was very popular back then. Like getting like out of like listening to top 40, like. Listening to top 40 wasn't cool anymore in 2012. But I feel like before that, everyone was listening to like everything that was on the radio. But when it got to like 2012, 2013, people started like branching off and like listening to more like different music. It was like cool to listen to underground music and stuff like that. So I feel like that attitude was starting to become popular. But now I feel like we're getting back there. I'm so sorry.
I find it interesting that you said that Philadelphia used to be cliquey, because I'm not from here. I was like raised in West Detroit. So when I first moved to Philadelphia in around like 2017, my first impression was that this was like one of the most collaborative cities I've ever seen. You know, I wasn't really that well traveled at that point, but even still to this day, I feel like the community here is much more collaborative than it is competitive.
Exactly.
And that's something I admire wholly about Philly.
Now it's like not cool to be cliquey. I feel like it's more cool to be like more collaborative and outgoing and like combining different elements.
Yeah.
Back then it wasn't like that yet.
Yeah.
I feel like around like 2017, 16, it became more like of a melting pot.
Yeah.
And it got to be where it is now. You go to raves and see so many different people.
Yeah, like gatekeeping is corny.
Okay, so we have right now the next song playing, which is, let me see here, Reflection. And you are listening to WKDU Philadelphia 91.7 FM, Drexel University's free format non-commercial radio station. I'm Iguana, and this is Glare for the Brains, and we are going to talk about a lot more. But yeah, right now you're going to hear Reflection.
Even though I'm the only one in the mirror, I'm actually mirror how I can see it clear. I hate hard telling me I make it better. I just hope that you're not around in the story, and I know that you don't need nobody, and I hope you still want my body. Shorty, you like my body, like jeans after you shoot. I know that you don't trust nobody, and I know you can't need nobody, and I know that you don't love nobody. I know you can't love nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you can't trust nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you can't trust nobody. I know that you can't need nobody, and I know that you can't love nobody. I know that you don't love nobody, and I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you don't need nobody, and I know that you don't need nobody, and I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you don't trust nobody, and I know you can't need nobody, and I know that you don't love nobody. I know you can't love nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you can't trust nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you don't trust nobody. I know that you can't need nobody. I know that you don't love nobody. I know that you can't love nobody. And I know you don't need nobody. I know that you can't love nobody. I know that you don't need nobody. I know that you don't need
Okay, so we're back on air, and before we start talking to Keenan and Sam here, I have to read a PSA about Black History Month. Since the 1970s, the month of February has been an exceptional period for the Black community as we devote 28 days, 29 if we're lucky, to commemorate all things Black. Black History Month is celebrated across the United States, Canada, UK, Germany, Netherlands, and from school system to television networks, many organizations recognize the month by building Black history into their programming during the month of February. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, this Black History Month is particularly special because we're celebrating our anniversary. We're 110 years young, and we're challenging all of our supporters to celebrate Black history a different way each day. These are some ways you can celebrate Black History Month this month. Support a Black business, visit a Black History or Civil Rights Museum in your local area, donate to a Black organization, host a Black film marathon, wear your hair out in its natural form to school, work, or social event, trace your family history, spend time with the Black elder in your community, read a book by a Black author, cook a soul food meal, sign up to mentor a Black child in your community, attend or host a Black culture event in your community, support a Black creative, artist, poet, local musician, etc., register to vote. This has been a PSA message from NAACP and WKDU. So right now we have Sam on as well, who produced this song, correct?
That is
Nine
correct.
tails.
9 tails.
Yeah.
Toes.
So Sam, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and what was your involvement with the album.
Oh, gee golly gosh. Well, my name is Sam. My producer name is Nine-Tail Shadow Wolf. I've been producing for about 5 years now and involved in like primarily the emo scene around Delaware and Philadelphia for about 6 years now. Mm-hmm. And Mo here is my roommate, so I'm very thankful for that because through him I was able to meet Keenan and the other artists, the electronic artists in the scene that like I didn't really have an in to like the electronic music scene in Philly, and I always wanted to, and I feel right at home.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this song. Like, did you just produce this song or more songs on the album? I don't know exactly.
This is a reglitch of an original demo that Keenan had sent me. We already had the track list figured out for the EP, and then Keenan was like, I feel like we need one more. And then Mo, of course, opened up the treasure chest of the unreleased Keenan from Limbo demos, and then we're like, what about this one? And then Mo even like fully mastered it, and we brought it to the studio, and then Keenan was like, I feel like something's missing, and then we're like, Sam, what if you do a reglitch? And so I spent like 3 straight days in my basement, like, you know, mixing stuff and like throwing all my random samples and everything in there until I felt I'd create some new Frankenstein beast.
I'm like cheesing right now. 'Cause, like, I'm just like, as you were saying, I'm just like, yeah, that's how it happened.
He's right.
He's right. Because shout out Kev. We were at Kev's house. I think that's when it first popped off. And,
Yeah.
like, Sam sent me that like reglitch of it. I was geeking. I was like, oh my god, that was so cool.
Yeah, shout out Sam.
Shout out
Also,
Sam.
I do remember when I saw Keenan in that basement in North Philly. I think Sam performed too. and
Yeah,
it
That's
was,
true, dude.
yeah.
That is correct.
Yeah.
it was
Dude.
it was a very, very nice experience. I will
It was
say that.
liberating because I haven't performed like live on stage in like years, and I sent Keenan like a song of mine that I hadn't released like 30 minutes before he went on because he was like, text it to me, and then he like listened to the first 10 seconds through his phone
kitchen.
speakers and was like, yo, you want to play this? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, you
And
were
then I
like,
did.
You were like, of course, and then it was so funny because it was like,
Dude, nobody was expecting any of
Yeah.
it. They're like, who the heck is this kid?
I was like, Sam, come out here, and you killed it. Like, you killed it.
Yeah, you were amazing, Sam.
Thank
Of
you.
course, I was like nervous. 'Cause I was like, I hope like, but I didn't know. I don't think I even knew at the time that you like were in bands and stuff. So you're like you weren't nervous at all, and I was like,
Dude.
I didn't know that you were like already used to like, cause to me that's new. So I was like thinking like how I felt. I was like, oh my god, I hope he's not nervous like me.
Dude, I was very nervous.
Killed it.
But
I didn't know.
I
You
had all
showed-
this energy stored up from the past
Yeah.
several years, and I let it all out.
You showed up.
So I want to ask now, because we talked a little bit about we talked a little bit about the past, we talked a little bit about the present, and right now, like, I want to ask you a little bit about the future. So what I really like about this project is that, like, you didn't necessarily market it as just like a musician thing, like it's a whole artist, like with the cover art, with the smiley face. Like, shout out to who made the cover art?
Taylor Freeman.
Yeah,
Come
shout
on.
out to the like it's so sick. If you go on like Keenan from Limbo on Instagram, you can see the cover art is very, very nice, and it's like a super just like futuristic looking. Just how would you describe it? The cover art, like what was your idea behind it?
Honestly, okay, I hopped back on Tumblr because like I need like Tumblr was like really popular, and I get like a lot of like inspiration from like the stuff I see on Tumblr. So recently I was like, yo, let me get Tumblr back. I need some like inspiration for just like visions and stuff like that. And I found like an old picture of like I think IBM, like the IBM like tree or whatever. That was like it was like a hologram glitch or something. And like Taylor, we've been working for a little bit. We have like some things that's coming up in the future I can't talk about right now, but we're working on some things. And I showed Taylor like the original album art which was like a ticket. It was like really plain or whatever. And I sent it to Taylor, and Taylor was like, "Yo, like you should hit me up. I want to do your album art." So I sent him like a sample picture, and he just like went off and like did his own thing and like came up with like this crazy like album art. And he's amazing. He works in I forget what it's called. He works in what's the 3D
Blender.
He works in Blender and he like kills it. He's been doing like music videos with like visuals by Luke and DB Mars, and he's just been killing it in the scene. So I'm happy that he's on my side and loves me and I love him. He's super cool guy.
Shout out to everybody who helped with this project all together and with the like. I'm very happy you came here to play unreleased music. It makes me very like excited that people tune in, because I really like, even with Teth, like Teth here last week, he came and played like an hour and 30 minutes of originals produced by him. So that's why I really just like with the rave stuff, and because I've been going to all of them, like I really want people here too to like actually talk about it and to have people like listen to them talk, because you know a face, like the DJ from the rave, or like the person that's going, I don't know, like to sing at an event, but you don't actually know like their whole story behind it and what happened and everything. So I'm really like, thank you so much for coming.
No
like
problem.
thank you everybody who came.
Thank you for having me. Like, this is a pleasure. I would like to come back again, and if you want to have anyone on, I can definitely hit someone up, or like anyone, especially if you're trying people in the rave scene.
Yes, like most definitely. I have this. What?
I said most tapped in, so.
Yeah, most tapped in. Mo can tell me like all his connections, but yeah. So, what would you say are your upcoming plans in terms of like your music or you as an artist? Like, I know you have a few events coming up, so tell us about that.
So, well, immediately, like future, like what's coming up. We have a rave tomorrow. It's called Electric Lust. You can follow me on Instagram, find out the addy. So yeah, just if you're cool, like just make sure you're ready to like be free. Like there's no homophobia, there's no transphobia, there's no racism, there's no ableist. Like you gotta come and expect to like be free. No judgment free zone. But you can come tomorrow. We're doing a rave. And on that's Friday. On Saturday, I'm also doing an event with Poundside Pop. I'm helping throw an event with him, and DB Mars is also throwing an event tomorrow. That's what's happening immediately. But in the future with my music, I don't know. I have a lot more songs in the tuck that I haven't put out, and I've talked to Sam and Mo, and I'm ready to just like pretty much dig up songs from the past, reproduce them, and like put them out. And I also have a lot of new songs that I want to put out. So I think for the rest of this year, I'm ready to go crazy and just drop a lot of music. And
tell us about that event on the 18th that you were talking about.
Okay, so 215 Fashion Mag has invited me to do an event on the 18th and perform, and I'm super hyped because that's like right before the project drops. So I'm excited. There's gonna be a lot of people performing there. If I'm not wrong, I think Miles Ramon's gonna be there.
It's gonna be like
Teth is gonna be there.
Too.
Yeah. Shout out Teth. Shout out Cooley. Shout out all of R1. Those are like my dogs, for real. Like when we were coming up doing this like rave stuff, they were like right there with us. We like put them on shows, and they like helped me out. Had me and Mo on stage with TJX6 and 1000 Band Funny. Like they looked out a lot for us. Remember that?
That's crazy.
They like looked out a lot for us, and we've done the same for them. Like I look at them like they're some of the realest people in the scene right now. There's a lot of people who was real, but they're some of the realest, and they kept doing it. I'm happy to see them now and like progressing, and like I feel like they're finding their lane right now. Like for sure.
We love our one at the radio. Like me and Frequency, we love them. And
super cool.
Yeah, tomorrow, like from other people from the raves, tomorrow Frequency's gonna have Soup on. So if you want to tune in for that.
Soup. Oh my God, I forgot about Soup. Shout out Soup and shout out Magos too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
she's gonna be here too, both of them.
For sure, they're super cool. I love them too. Actually, that rave that we did, the first rave of the summer, what was it?
Where the Wild Things Are.
Soup was like one of the main DJs there, like helping out, set up sound and stuff like that. Soup was right there.
Yeah, shout out Soup, shout out R1. They're like some of the most sincere people I've met in the Philadelphia scene, in the music scene, for sure.
It's just like so much love, because when Teth was here last week, he was like, shout out Keenan, shout out Carla, shout out Mo. I was like, I
got like goosebumps. I got like goosebumps now. Like this, like I don't know. I just like seeing my homies like do good, you know. I love seeing everyone like just come together and like just like show out for one another. it's amazing. It's special. You know, I love y'all. Shout out Mo and Sam again. Shout out you, Ghana. Oh my god. Oh
Shout
my
out
God.
everybody. We love everybody
I'm over
that
here
like.
glitching right now.
But I have here a question that like I don't know if you've necessarily answered, but like where do you think this is going? Like do you think you're trying to move away from like just necessarily throwing raves and just focus on music, or where do you think the rave stuff is going, or where do you think like your art in general is going, or do you are just going like day by day?
Well, I'm gonna be going to the metaverse next year. So
Metaverse tour.
find me there. So no, I'm joking.
To be honest, Tef last week was like, find us a metaverse. We're
Yo,
all
low-key,
there.
I'm joking, but I'm not joking, low key. But I'm kind of joking.
Yeah.
Sam's so mad. Sam's so mad. Sam's like, no, you're not.
Keep playing the metaverse. I'm leaving.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But no,
We're minting all the songs as NFTs.
No.
Oh my God.
That is my line.
yo,
We're not. Yeah, this the crypto NFT talk. We're trying to be chill about it in the radio.
Keenan
with it.
coin.
yeah, Keenan coin.
To the moon.
Limbo coin.
Limbo coin.
But in the future, I want to keep making music, but I want to get to a point eventually that I'm like writing music for people, collaborating, and doing more behind the scenes work, because I feel like I can do more behind the scenes than I can do on the forefront. Like right now, I like being in the forefront, like putting music out and having people see like my like art and stuff like that. But eventually, I want to be in the background and I want to make things happen and behind the scenes with my friends, because that's like what it's about. You know, it's not about like me flexing or anything. It's about me like putting in like work to like make bigger things than me happen, if that makes sense. And yeah, and I want to. And for the raves and the shows, I want to become more immersive. Like this rave tomorrow is about to be crazy. Like we have like games and everything set up, and it's gonna be super immersive. But the ideas that we have, I know we're gonna go crazy. So
I wanted to ask you, Mo, too, because like if we're talking about the Philly scene, like where do you see, and because you were heavily involved in Keenan's project, like where do you see his art going from your perspective, and where do you see like the Philly scene going as well?
In terms of Keenan's music, only up. I mean, like I said before, the music speaks for itself. There's no doubt in my mind that it's only gonna get more and more traction as we push it and promote it and market it. And in terms of the Philly scene, I don't see like there's so much potential energy right now within the city. Like I like to equate it a lot to the Harlem Renaissance. I feel like that's happening in Philly right now. I feel like there's an artistic renaissance happening in Philadelphia. And if you want to be an artist, if you all are an artist of any kind, I feel like this is the place to be. And it's only going up from here.
Yeah, I know how Mo keeps saying that like all the trends in like Europe, they're like they know about Philly and everything, and I hear him talk about that all the time. So I just like thought it's very interesting, and I do think that Philly is very influential in a lot of ways with like the sound, the music. Like there's so much good art here. I remember I was in an Uber one time with this guy, and he was like, I just can't live Philly because it has too much art. Like I just can't leave it.
That's how I feel too.
You know?
Yeah.
And one of my last questions, just to like wrap it up, and then if you have anything like you want to say, definitely do it, or like if any of you want to introduce any topic to discuss. But who would you like to collaborate with?
Ooh. Immediately, I want to collaborate with Igloo Ghost. Igloo
Yes!
Ghost hit me up. We're going to Igloo Ghost show on the 13th. Yo, Igloo Ghost hit me up. I want to
your flash drive with your demos on stage.
I actually really do want to do that.
You
Like,
should have Igloo Ghost. We have a lay disc for you.
We got a
we got
lay
disc.
disc, buddy.
I want to work with Igloo Ghost for sure. But people like locally in the city, like I want to work with Benny X. I feel like I like the music he's doing with Yeet right now. Yo, he's killing it with Yeet, and I had the privilege to meet him and talk to him a little bit on Instagram, and he's a super cool cat. I want to work with Benny X. I want to work with. I would love to work with Blade. Of course, I want to work with Blade. That's like one of my idols.
We love drinking here too.
I love drinking. I'm a low key a drainer. I'm not even gonna lie.
Same.
I'm a drainer, but I'm trying
shame.
to with Blade. I want to work with everyone. I want to work with Sam. Sam's my homie. I want to work with Sam more.
Likewise.
Yeah, I want to work with like a lot of people, but those are some of the people like right on the forefront of me. I work with Kanye.
Who do you guys see Keenan collaborating with? I'm very curious. Like Sam, Mo. I personally like, to me, like everything, like Echo 2K. If you
Yo,
or
I
like
would love to
you
work
know
with Echo.
Yves Tumor, right? Like the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
rock,
yeah,
but if
yeah.
it would be like Yves Tumor instrumentals and like
Yeah.
Keenan from Limbo vocals.
I need a.
That would be sorry, I just kissed the mic hard as shit. That would be crazy. Like, no, that would be crazy.
Me personally, I need a Keenan from Limbo Fleetwood Mac collaboration.
I would love
Whoa,
that.
that would
I
be
would
kind of
love to work with
crazy. That would
Fleetwood
go
Mac.
hard.
OGs, working with like some OGs would be amazing.
Dude, my dad used to be in a band with a singer for Iron Maiden. We can hook you up.
Oh my God.
Are you
Sam?
I'm dead serious.
Sam
yeah.
just
Are you for real?
texted
Are
me.
you for real?
Sam, our project director, was like
Yeah, he's for
Neil
real.
Young collab, you know,
Neil
just Neil
Young?
Young with
Young.
Keenan from Limbo.
Yo, Neil Young X Keenan from Limbo, Keenan from Limbo X Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Yo, that would be amazing.
That would be like the
X-Blade.
most genre bending
Oh my
thing. You know how
gosh.
right
Yeah.
now there's like
Yeah.
a trillion genres. You would be
Yeah.
like just genre bending and just combining everything.
That's like honestly my goal. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have so much music that's not just hyperpop. Like me and my partner wrote like a country song on our way back from Tennessee. Like I wrote like so many different type of genres, but I just want to like be able to put everything out, you know. But wait, what are you saying?
Yeah, I could see you like collaborating even with like screamo bands and stuff.
That would
No,
be- I would love
same.
it.
Yeah, like,
Like-
very, very
like-
loud
Like
stuff.
what is it, like West Coast, like modern screamo, like Scrams type
I'm
stuff.
With it. I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with honestly anything. Whoever wants to work with me, I'm down. Like whoever's like anything. Like I'm down to work in any genre. I was listening to before I came here. I was listening to George Strait. Like George Strait was kind of fire this morning. Yeah.
You know who's an artist I've been listening to like the past few days, and I feel like your vocals with Loki really hit on this.
Yeah.
His name is Moalola. I don't know if you've heard of
Moalola?
Moalola.
No.
That is fire. I'm gonna show
That's
you
tough.
after. It's very, very,
Put me
very,
on, put me
very
on.
nice. But I feel like personally, we have listened to a lot of like unreleased stuff today, but I feel like your vocals just really do fit on everything. Like you really could do a lot of stuff with it.
Thank you.
Because Keenan's very talented, Sam is very talented, Mohir's very talented. We have like a very talented crew.
Appreciate it.
But it was a pleasure to talk to you guys
Yeah,
today.
it was a pleasure.
Likewise.
And-
Thank you very much.
Thank
It was
you.
amazing.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'm definitely like, if you ever want to do, a live performance, I can definitely have you on soon.
Let's do it. Let's set it up.
Yes,
right
let's
now.
set it up. We're doing it.
I'm definitely down to do it.
Yes, let's do a live performance. Are we down, Mr. Manager?
Yes, yeah. Of course we are.
Of
What kind
course we
question
are.
is that?
Yes, of course. So, yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today. This was Keenan from Limbo with Mo Witcher, with Sam, and
Yeah,
with
9
Iguana.
turns.
What do you want to
Iguana.
say? Go on.
Shout out to DJ Iguana. Thank you for having us
Thank you.
on.
Yeah, shout out to me and listen to Glitter for the Brains every week. I'm really excited. I'm planning to have a lot more guests from like the same scene that we've been talking about because I really I'm very thankful to have moved to Philly and like discover so many talented people around me. And the last song we have for today is In the 80s. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. This is WKDU Philadelphia 91.7 FM, Drexel University's free format non-commercial radio station. This was DJ Iguana, and tune in next week, Thursday 12 to 2, and tune in tomorrow for Dog Days Radio with Frequency with Soup and Maggie.
Maggles.
Maggles, sorry for that, but
Maggles.
shout out Maggles. This is the last song we have for today, In the 80s. Enjoy.
Just call now.